just as a guest today.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Live Reality Games podcast. I'm Naomi. I'm here with my co-host Lee, and we are talking about Scotty Survivor Season 2, Lost in Time. I am so excited Scotty Survivor is back. If you did not watch last season, can't recommend it enough. Lee has a list of winners of all college survivors, and the winner of last season ranks very high on the list. I won't spoil it, but if that isn't an endorsement enough, I don't know what to tell you. Lee, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Excited that the season's coming back, and looking at this cast, where the hell did you find most of these people? Listen, last time I did this, I think I was too nice because it was my very first time on this podcast.
Too nice. I don't know about that.
I was a little too nice last time because it was my first time introduced to the Live Reality Games world, but now that I'm more experienced, I'm definitely going to be more opinionated.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow, well, Lee proved to be the Simon Cowell of this group. Sounds good. Well, Shane and Govind, you have your choice of which American Idol judge you would like to be. Shane, welcome back. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited for the season to come out, despite us, putting some touches on. I think everybody's in for a treat. So I'm very excited, and happy to be here.
All right, and joining us, Govind, how are you doing? So nice to get to talk to you today.
Likewise, thank you for having me. I'm doing real well. I love this season so much. I think as somebody who just was involved with it from start to finish, I think y'all are in for a treat. And I think shout out to Shane, who's been doing so much on the editing front. I want to make sure everybody knows how much work he's been putting in. It's insane. And I think you're gonna really enjoy it.
Amazing. I'm so excited. We have 18 incredible players to talk about. So we are going to bring them up on the screen. You're going to get to see my Instagram feed. Maybe I get a message or two while this is happening, but I don't think it will. So I'm going to start off with the first one in the cast reveal. We have Abby. And by the way, I just want to say your graphics team works hard. These are such great reveals. Okay, Shane works hard. I love them. Love the aesthetic. I always focus now on the aesthetic of a season that people make, and I love this one. We have Abby. Shane or Govind, tell us a little bit about Abby.
I can do this one. Abby is a first-year PhD student. I guess now second year, but at the time, first-year PhD student who just graduated from Princeton. So she's very, very smart. Knows pretty much nothing about Survivor coming in, other than knowing somebody on the cast who is a big super fan who encouraged her to apply. She's kind of nerdy, very funny in an awkward kind of way. Her humor is very dry, but really funny. And once you get to know her, it's like, what are you saying? But in the best way possible. Wow. And she's very direct.
Yeah, I love that. Govind, any thoughts on Abby as well?
Yeah, I think Abby is somebody who, I'll be completely honest, I was not the most impressed with Abby's interview at first. I was like, okay, Abby, not really sure what I'm expecting here. But then seeing her
I fought for her to be on this season.
For sure did. And I also, I think I took a little bit more convincing to have the semi theme of this cast where there are people who know one another. So at first I was really sold on the person she knew, and then a little less sold on Abby. But getting to know Abby is one of my favorite people. She is so funny, and I think it's really interesting the way that she comes in not really knowing the game, and you get to learn along with her, which is something that is super cool, which I really love about College Survivor, because you really get to know so many people who think this is a cool club and then really love Survivor over the course of getting to know more.
And then suddenly they're crying on camera and they don't know what's happening to them
anymore. That.
Lee, what Govind just described reminds me a little bit of Chrissy from Australian Survivor, where this person comes in, doesn't know anything, and yet kind of thrives in the chaos. I'm really looking forward to seeing Abby play. I also think a PhD student is really interesting because you're a little bit older than everybody else, and sometimes it's a hard hurdle to get over, but other times you're seen as a smarter person, maybe a little bit wiser, or people just think you're a boomer. I don't know which one.
To
your
be
cast
be
decides.
clear, like in terms of like these PhDs and master's students in this group of cast members, like Anthony was almost 26. These groups are like 22, 23. So they're
You're getting
pretty
your
close
PhD
in
at 23. Oh my God.
yeah,
You're so
they're like
smart.
pretty close in age to the rest of the contestants. So that's
right.
just something to keep in mind.
So then they're just seen as really smart. Lee, what do you think of Abby?
She seems nice. I mean, that's a compliment, I swear. The can't lying thing is a little worrying because, well, maybe she doesn't need to lie, so she might be a bit too honest. We saw last season that not knowing anything about Survivor kind of doesn't really mean anything when it comes to gameplay. So it'd be interesting to see how she does. She seems fun. Hearing she came from Princeton, she's obviously smart. I want to hear more about this once fell off a jet ski story.
Please tell me that it comes up in the season, please.
I'll be honest, I had no idea what the fun fact is about, but she's a naturally interesting person. I think she has more than enough stories to share.
Wonderful. Well, we have a comment, and I wonder who this is from. That guy, Ale, seems like a great cast. Reminds me a lot of really cool kid Eric from season 1. From Eric. Now, Eric,
Never heard of him.
We'll get there, but this is Eric. I hope you're doing well. So Eric was robbed. Is Eric coming back from All Stars? Don't spoil it. Okay. Up next, we have Anna or Anna.
Oh wait, are we watching? Do you guys want to see the videos or do we want to just skip?
We can. I actually have no idea if my video will play. So let's. Oh, I'm clicking.
They're
all
quick
the wrong
enough.
arrows. Let's see if my video will play.
Very well.
Can you hear that?
And
Yeah.
I know that's very obvious if I'm nervous. So I'm hoping that I can sort of just like get people to like me. I know that I can't lie very well, and I know
That is, they are very sharp. All right, great. That she's got a sense of humor about her. I can't wait. Yes, Spud detected. Okay, is it Anna or Anna? I'm gonna pronounce his names right.
Anna.
Anna. Up next, a sophomore film major. Sounds like my kind of girl. Well, what is there to know about Anna?
Oh boy. Well, she's really good friends with Leo from season 1.
Oh no.
So he convinced her to apply. The one thing that I noted in Anna's interview was that when we were doing like the whole we do like a kind of like a solo like confessional and then like scenario where you like have a partner, and I was Anna's partner and she was like lying to me, and then she told me to take a Xanax, and then for me that was an instant cast. So I think that tells you everything you need to know.
Govind, did you have to be convinced on Anna, or did the Xanax comment get you?
Anna was an automatic cast in my boot. I think that she is like somebody who brings the energy and brings the like drama wherever she goes. Like I feel like I'm playing Survivor when I'm just hanging out with her, because which I think is even more so the case when you see her in an actual show. So I think Anna's like, I love this cast so much, and I think Anna's again another person who is like, you see her and you're like, this person should be on reality TV.
Amazing. Lee, let's hear your hot takes about Anna.
Yeah, so she kind of seems a bit of a hypocrite. You'll understand why once you watch her video. It's like, I get that I'm a bitch, but other people aren't allowed to be bitches either. So
that to me is I was gonna say that sounds like the Big Brother syndrome, where everyone's like, "How dare you be mean to me?" But I'm gonna talk shit about your behind your back all season.
Yeah, she seems like somebody that will probably get frustrated very easily, get pissed off with people a lot. Can definitely see that happening. Will she go far? That's another story.
Still sounds like my kind of girl.
And hearing she's friends with Leo should definitely be interesting to watch, because we all know how Leo was his first season.
Well, that brings up a good question, Shane. Like, do people know the sort of results of season 1 going into season 2?
Absolutely. I mean, it's really hard to hide these things kind of going into it. I
Yeah.
think that whether or not, like, we obviously knew that Anna was friends with Leo. Whether everyone else knew Anna was friends with Leo, that's up to her to disclose.
Yeah.
Because like not everybody knew, and I mean we're seeing it now, like in season 4, like not everybody knows how people did on past seasons. Not everybody watched season 1. Not everybody like, you know what I mean? Like there's varying degrees of like how much people know about the past seasons. So I think that's really up to the players' discretion to kind of tell how much they know about like past players.
There's also
Okay.
like a big difference in Leo in real life and Leo on camera is something to
Very
point out.
true. Very,
I
very true.
I think people at this point, even if they knew they were friends, they don't understand how savage Leo is in his confessionals, whereas he's a little bit more tamed down in like real life.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just
I
a
know
little
everyone
bit.
right now is being little Regina Georges, and I personally am a Regina George, but I don't like seeing other Regina Georges. I know everyone right now is being little.
Everybody can be, nobody can be Regina George but me. It sounds like when like, no, I get to be the princess and you guys have to be other characters. I love it. I'm excited, and especially like a film major, I hope that she gets some good footage this season for you guys. Well, up next we have Ethan, getting a master's in public policy. Fun fact, is a simp. Anybody want to comment?
It's true. He is a simp. He would want me to say that. Yeah, Ethan, man, the energy with Ethan is infectious. Like, you meet this guy and he's got you talking like instantly. It's just like he's so bubbly, he's so friendly, and he is like a Survivor, like super fan of super fans. Like, has been playing online games for like years. Is obsessed with 10 gauge. Like, not 10 gauge. Um, yeah, just like he's obsessed with the show, and I mean, I think he does a pretty good job like toning it down, but definitely a big personality for sure.
Yeah, I think as far as Ethan's concerned, my first thing I would say is, as somebody who plays online Survivor games myself, 10 gauge doesn't really have the best reputation. So when I was told that he's a 10 gauge player, I was like, I'm not going to like this guy. But then he hops into the interview. He is so charismatic and so easy to get along with. But I think the biggest thing that really jumps out to me about Ethan is he's team good TV. He's the type of person that if like he cares minimally about what's going on in the game strategy wise, but he's here to make sure that like the viewer is having a fun time too, which is pretty interesting to watch.
I'm very
What's
excited.
10 gauge?
We won't go there. It's
a community of people who are very young within the Survivor org world, is the way I describe it.
Oh, not the squeakers.
Your words, not mine.
The squeaker. I didn't
Hold
know
on
about
one
orgs until quarantine, so every time I learn something new, it's like a whole treat to me. Ethan is really funny to me as a character. Like anybody who is willing to sort of be that almost like Joker. I don't want to say Joker, like a jester character. I feel like always will end up going kind of far. So I'm really excited for Ethan. Lee, what do you think of Ethan?
Oh god, he's annoying. Okay. Now here's the thing. Alright, for anyone who's not familiar with me, if somebody's usually a super fan on the show, I usually have extremely low opinion of them. So the whole stupid smiling assassin thing, so clearly quoting Pia from Survivor Australia, obviously one red flag. The simp thing, another red flag, so he's just going to be a follower for someone then. I put down he probably just thinks he's good at everything, which he probably isn't. The whole doing things for TV rather than game, I tend to not like, but I'm part of the minority of those people. And I said he would probably be an easy pawn for people. Like, he's just someone.
Interesting. I don't know if I completely agree, but
there's a few people like I immediately was just like, yeah, this person's definitely either not going to go far, but definitely they're not winning, and he was one of them.
All right.
Listen, I am ready. This is the birth of the smiling assassin, and I am ready.
Oh, I like Ethan. I'm excited. Ethan's got like something about him. I don't want to sound. It feels like TikTok, and I maybe that's just because I'm old, but he feels like TikTok, and I'm excited for that.
More red flags.
Oh no! All right. Okay. Did I pronounce his name right?
This one.
Shane, pronounce his name.
Ayal. Okay.
Ayal.
Before we get into this, just the amount of pronunciations of this man's name in this season is something I have never seen before. Like, there's at least like 10. Like, nobody says it right the first week, not even me. So, that was embarrassing.
Oh my god. Govind, what is there to know about Ayal, a first-year business MEC-E student?
Ayal is from his interview. So I was in charge of the similar to how Shane was describing with Anna. I was in charge of his video interview, where I was basically trying to push him as far as I could, because all I know coming into his interview is that he's an Eric recruit, and he is somebody whose level of cockiness has no bounds. So Eric is like, make this kid like go insane if you can. So I'm pretending like we're running out a scenario where has to try and blindside me, but I've begun catching on that like he's saying my name. I'm pushing him, and I'm pushing him, and I'm pushing him. He finally cracks. And the moment he cracks, I'm like, wow, this kid, like, even when he cracks, he's so cocky. Like, even when he's getting caught in this lie, this is insane. So Ayal, I think, is one of my favorite like interviews I've ever had. I think watching him play the game is so much fun because he's always going to think he's in the driver's seat, like no matter what, even if he is, even if he isn't. And I love this man with every fiber of my being. Like he is such a fun guy to watch.
And you know, why aren't we talking about Eric? Well, we're talking about Eric now, Lucas. Shane, Ayal, I mean, is he an Eric 2.0 or is he a little bit different?
He's Eric 2.0, but knows, no offense, Eric, he knows a lot more about the game and how to play. Eric had no idea, no offense, again, what he was doing at the beginning and got like very caught in the crossfire really early on. He still went really far because he made super strong bonds. But Ayal knows the game and he knows like it's a very, they're the same but very different. I think his approach is a lot different than Eric's. But his cockiness level brings it to a whole nother level. Like it's just watching some of these confessionals, I was like, oh my god, like wow. In like the best and worst way possible. I was like, wow, like this kid is great TV.
You want good TV, Canada. This is exciting. Lee, I mean, I can only imagine what you're about to say about him, but please let me know.
It's if Eric and Jackson from Michigan had a baby.
That is so true. That is so true.
Well, I think we found the puppet master of the season. I mean, nobody else in this season would do something like that other than probably Eric. So probably this guy. He's most likely the one that's like did that whole puppet master shit. What's Catan?
Settlers of Catan is a game, like a board game.
Okay.
So basically, he's bragging about how much he wins at a board game.
Which,
well, 70%.
By the way, I don't know how you estimate that you win 70% of the time, but okay.
Yeah. Unless you're like playing online and like you have a stat counter, like I don't trust.
For the record, I win a time 0%. So
Ayal is the type of guy that would like keep a running tally of how many times he's won, though, just so he can brag later about how many times he's won.
Oh, it's gonna be so interesting to see how he interacts with some of these other people.
To remove the Clark Kent glasses and reveal Superman. It's just about time to remove the Clark Kent glasses and reveals Superman.
I mean,
Let's see if this guy can turn salt into butter.
That phrase needs to die. That needs to die.
oh, not salt into butter. That is so funny. I'm really looking forward to Al. I think that he could have either a lot of success, especially if you know Survivor really well, or he could be one of those like late pre-merge, like this guy is really going to be got to get him out. And I'm curious, like what this cast will be as a whole, because I think in general, casts are usually like either people will keep their close allies in no matter what, or they'll be willing to get rid of them for the benefit of their game in the future. And I can't wait to see like what happens. Superman alert, Superman detected.
I gotta just say before we move on, like, just like not related to that comment, but this is probably one of the weirdest pre-merges I have ever seen. Like the most like mind-boggling to anybody watching. You're like, huh? Like, what is happening? So if you are tired of straightforward votes, don't expect that here.
Yay!
Lee, get your doc ready. These vote counts are going to be off the chart.
Finally, this current season of the actual US Survivor. I mean, unanimous votes. I'm having a heart attack here.
Oh, man. Well, up next, we have Haley, a sophomore cello performance major. Always bold to just go performance and not music. I admire it. And can quote Monsters, Inc. by heart. That's how, you know, we're a Pixar generation in many ways. Well, Haley seems cool. I'm excited for Haley. Shane, can you tell me more about her?
Haley was somebody that I personally kind of know already, just from like being in. Oh, we love you, AL. It's fine.
Sorry, Govind, you're getting blocked by the comment, but we love you.
I kind of already knew her, and she's really good friends with Michael from season 1.
Oh no.
So okay.
Michael was robbed.
The one thing I will say was from her interview, she gave off super, super genuine, nice, like almost in a little bit naive vibes. But then we did her camera test, and like, damn, that was crazy. Like, Govind can talk more about it because he did it with her, but she was here to play the game, and as somebody who is in a pretty intense like conservatory program as well, like I understand the cello performance life, she made no sacrifice to be part of the game. Like, she was in it from the start.
Speaking to Haley a little bit more, I think she just she's one of the most genuine people I've ever met. And I think that really comes through in the season as well, that at the end of the day, you just want people you can trust. And Haley is somebody who, the moment you meet her, whether or not you actually can trust her or you can't trust her, she comes off so much like you can trust her. And what really popped out during the interview was like, this entire time I'm like, okay, this is just a sweet girl. I don't know if she's really cut out for Survivor, but like, I've really enjoyed getting to know her. And then she's so like willing to cut me in this like interview, and I'm like, what? Like, where is this coming from, right? So I think looks can be deceiving a little bit with Haley, and I think she's somebody who is going to be very easy to get along with for a lot of this cast.
She swore on a promise ring to Govind.
Yeah, she was like, look at my promise ring, I promise you I'm not going to blindside you. And I was like, damn, if she's doing that, then of course she's not going to blindside me.
I gotta know more about this interview. You know, I don't want to spoil it for when you have future casting. But off camera, I gotta know way more about this interview process, because it sounds like nobody else watched the 3% show but me, but that's what it sounds like. We also have Danielle agreeing with me. Michael was robbed, and Al, you're welcome for the lovely review. I would listen.
We'll see. We'll see how long it lasts in the season.
Oh, man.
Immediately dies once the premiere comes in.
Lee, what do you think of Haley?
Hearing the things about her, she's definitely someone that could easily do decently well. How she came off to me, it was like she seems like a very paranoid person. How she was going on like, I'm afraid of every single member of my alliance. So that's a little worrying.
To
For
be
some
to be
reason,
fair, to Haley's credit, all 18 of these people are extremely cracked. So to be fair, every single one of these people is cracked in their own way. The one thing I love about this season is that I feel every single cast member has their moment to shine. Like there's something that they did that makes them stand out.
well, that's going to
Amazing.
be entertaining to see.
No purple edits on Scotty Survivor.
There
Well,
wasn't really
well,
any in
it's based on
season one.
footage.
Oh.
It's like based on footage, but like even then, like everybody still has their
Oh,
moment.
I know it. Oh, don't I know it? People are like, "Where's my edit?" I'm like, "You literally wouldn't stop strategizing for a confessional, so there's your edit."
Where's my edit? You send me the same recording 3 times on 3 different days.
I think that is the best move for me. It's the best move for my alliance. But Haley, I thought you were afraid of all of your alliance members. I am afraid of all of my alliance members. I think that.
Now, I really like Haley, and I have to say, like, I went to, like, I did a lot of music when I was in middle school and high school growing up, and, like, when you're a performance major and when you're, like, dedicated to the practicing, like, I never practice. Like, you got to be smart and you got to be really dedicated, and, like, I feel like Haley has that personality, especially cello performance, such a competitive field. Like, I think she does have a competitiveness to her that exists just from like the nature of what she does in college. So I'm looking forward to Haley a lot, especially like I love a third person confessional, you know, there's nothing better than when the player is acknowledging what the audience is thinking. And that's my favorite. So
Haley is the analogy queen. She turns everything into an analogy, and I just love that about her.
Up next, we have Henry, a junior philosophy major who plays the tuba. Now, I cannot wait to hear about Henry. Shane, please tell me more.
I mean, we call him Mr. Mysterious for a reason. He's very aloof. It's very like I found it. I mean, I kind of already knew Henry because he's friends with Olivia, so I kind of already like knew a bit about him. But like upon first meeting, like it was very hard for me to get a read on him. But he's very smart. He's very analytical. I'd say he's pretty perceptive in general. Yeah, that's like we called him like we said that he looked like an e-boy.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah, Govind.
Yeah, I didn't really have strong feelings about Henry when we first started the game. Just because like from his interview, he seemed like a pretty chill guy, had a good sense on the game. But he is somebody who cares a lot about this game and somebody who is very chill amongst a group of absolutely batshit insane people. So I think a lot of people come to him and is like, hey, you're somebody who I can just have a normal human conversation with, whereas everyone else, I feel like I'm about to like jump off a building. So I think Henry is like, he's coolness personified, and he's a good guy to get along with.
Okay, Lee, let's hear it, Lee.
I think I need to rewatch his little video thing because I just pulled him off. Like he seems very full of himself.
All right, let's go to the videotape. How about that? Let's just see right for ourselves.
I feel like one of my big things coming into the game was not to come out of the gates hot. I think it's important to lay low in the early parts of the game. But that's not really happening. I feel like one of my big things coming into the game.
Okay, Lee, you've reflected on it again. What do you think?
Now I just think he seems bored.
Okay, well, I think that there is definitely a bit of mystery to Henry, but I like, it's always good when somebody is conscious of whether or not they should come out too strong. But it sounds like Henry's waiting on whether or not he can even pull it off, which to me is like, we'll see how that goes. But maybe if he's on a tribe of crazy people and he's the calm one, then he becomes the like center of the alliance. I'm thinking about how like Daniel on this season of Survivor is like kind of all over the place, and like he wasn't the center of calm in his alliance, and now everybody's kind of looking at him like he's a whack job. So, you know, if Henry can be like a grounding presence for everybody he's working with, I think that's great.
He is on the same tribe as Yal.
I will say, I think that this group of people is individually cracked, but they are good at hiding that they are cracked.
They are good at hiding that they are crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
until they start voting, and then everybody's like, "Oh, maybe not."
Yeah.
So I was wondering, Shane and Govind, like, did you, for this season again, did it have to be mostly via Zoom, or were you able to meet more in person this year?
Entirely in person.
This is entirely in person. Of course, there's some Zoom content just because like when people are lazy and leave their house, now they're used to Zoom, so they're like, "Yo, you want to hop on a call?" But it's almost entirely like normal Survivor or the called Survivor.
There was one challenge that we did on Zoom just because it was actually easier to do it on Zoom.
Yeah.
From a logistical standpoint, but pretty much, I mean, obviously, like we're masked and everything, but like everything was in person. Yeah. So it like this was so much easier. We don't have any remote players. Like, sorry, we love you, Cushy and Kevin, but there's none of that this season. So.
Cushy and Kevin, they will be missed. But yeah, okay, that's really cool. And like, you know, I don't mind a Zoom call in, you know, like if you can see two people talking, like I'm down for it, you know, like oftentimes you can see people's faces much better on a Zoom call than when they're trying to hold the camera and set it up in a room. Okay, up next, we have Joe, a senior civil engineering major, worked at his Nana's Bakery for 7 years. And you got a comment from Survivor San Diego, which actually, I just have to plug this. We're talking about later today. Literally, there's a Survivor San Diego podcast after this, so people should definitely check it out. Tune into Survivor San Diego as well. College Survivor's back, baby. Screw Survivor 42. Govind, tell me a little bit about Joe, please. I'm dying to know.
Yeah, so Joe is somebody who is very perceptive, is probably the way I describe it. He's easy to get along with. He's somebody who's kind of like the normal college student, as far as he's nice to talk to, and he's not super well versed in the game, but he has a lot of people who he knows who are. And some of those people happen to also be on this season. He has friends with other people and may or may not come to light. And I would say Joe is somebody who is also a little bit more critical of other people than you would initially anticipate. I think part of like the confessional bit you even see here is him like calling out somebody on his own group, being like, "This person's weird, and I don't want to really hang out with the weird people."
Critical Survivor player, a guy after my own heart.
Shane, if you have any thoughts, hop in though, because I know
Yeah,
you knew.
so I know Joe pretty well because he's in my fraternity, and that also it means that he knows Leo and Corey and another person on this cast from that will be later revealed. Yeah. Well, I knew that Joe was pretty interested in playing because he was always seeing Leo and Corey talking about it, and so I kind of was like, Joe, I think you'd be pretty good at this because he's very like he recruited me to Greek life, and I never thought I was gonna join ever because I was like super against that. So I was like, well, if Joe could recruit me, he could probably play Survivor. So yeah, he's very persuasive, and he doesn't stand for people's bullshit.
Okay, Joe. I mean, Lee, is he going to be a fave of yours or like a Dale to you? I don't know. I'm always worried that like players are on one side of the Lee likes or not spectrum.
Yeah, it's usually one or the other. But he's actually very in the middle. He seems fine.
That's it.
Yeah, he's kind of an this is gonna be hard. An average Joe player. Hearing that he's critical, so that's a little more in the favor part. It's like, oh, I relate to that. I also judge people very quickly. I didn't know if that was obvious or not.
All right, we're going to the Joe video.
And the player he talks about that's a little snaky in the video, he's talking about Ethan.
Oh.
Kind of seems a little bit like a little slithery snake. We'll see how that goes. He also always goes like this when he talks, which kind of just really gets on my nerves. Kind of seems a little bit like a little.
That would definitely be Ethan, huh?
Yeah, he did that. I know like Sunhee make a pop pose in his thingy, so I was like, oh, he just did it again.
That's funny. I mean, I always like a sign of an observant player. Seems like Joe is really good at observing and is also really good at communicating with people. Like you said, Shane, getting people to do things that he wants them to do, or doing things that are in the best interest of everybody. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Joe operates. And you know, who doesn't love a guy who works in a bakery, right? Such a kind
free bread.
Free bread. The number one thing everyone thinks about at a bakery. Up next, we have Jude, a junior electrical and computer engineer. Oh my god! Like, the kids keep getting smarter and I keep getting older. And plays competitive Tetris. Oh my good god! Please, Shane, tell me about Jude.
Jude has my whole heart. Like, she is potentially the sweetest person I have ever met. Like, you just meet her and like you can't help but smile. Like, she's so nice. She's also like really outgoing. Like, she's a tour guide. She doesn't know a lot about Survivor, but I will say I think that she's just the type of person that's just so easy to get along with. And like everybody likes her. I think she's definitely when we interviewed her, we definitely got that she was naive in terms of the game, and is not good at lying, like at all. Like, she's that nice that she like can't lie.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I didn't know you recasted Audrey.
Jude is so different from Audrey. I think no offense to Audrey, love Audrey, but Jude is like, she's the type of person that the moment you meet her, you have no choice but to love her. And I've since changed my mind on that, so she roasts me every time she sees me. But initially, first impression wise, loved you. But yeah, no, she's awesome. She also has somebody, actually her roommate, who may or may not be on this cast as well. So
on the next slide,
will be on this cast as well, and how she navigates that relationship is pretty cool too.
I'm excited. I think for me, like, a character like Jude, you need the like calmness or the kindness to balance out like how evil and cutthroat some people are going to try to be, where they can feel a little more grounded and maybe see the ridiculousness in some of the behavior. But then also, like, who doesn't like a nice character? Like, I'm always rooting for the nice ones until they get to the end, in which I want the player who played strategically to win. But you know, it like, if Jude plays strategically, I'll be thrilled. I'm excited. But whenever people say they can't lie, that is something I will never understand. Which probably is a reflection of me as a person more than them, but I'm like, what do you guys can't lie? Like,
we have real opposites in this cast. Like, we have like people who like can't lie, and then you have someone who's going to come up later who's just obsessed with lying. She just loves it.
Everybody's got their foil. Everybody's got their counterpart in this game.
This like challenge so hard. I do not want to do that ever again. This like challenge so hard. I do not want to do that ever again.
What's she saying? A slides challenge?
Like slide puzzle.
It's just good at Tetris. You can't translate that to slide puzzles.
I will say that it was raining, not numbered, and very difficult.
Oh no.
Everybody knows the numbered slide puzzle algorithm. Up next, we have Lauren. Oh, Lee at the gate. Lauren, a behavioral econ major, and a lifelong Survivor fan. Okay, Lee is not on board. I'm on board. Govind, I want to know more about Miss Lauren.
Yeah, so Lauren and Judanique are day and night, but they're roommates and best friends, which is so interesting as to how like that dynamic works out, because you got like sunshine and you got the person that wants to cut your throat. So Lauren, I think Lauren was a very fun interview. It's what you expect from most Survivor super fans, as far as they're coming in, they're ready to do whatever they can to win, and they're ready to, like, this isn't any way in which they're expecting to make new friends. Rather, they're here for the prize money. and then they'll make friends in their day-to-day life afterwards. So I think Lauren's pretty cool. And I just personally really enjoy the way in which she tries to go about meeting new people, because it's clear in her mind that she's trying to meet them for alliance purposes, but sometimes that becomes a little bit too clear to others as well.
All right. Shane.
Yeah, Govind pretty much took the words out of my mouth. It's always fun when somebody comes in and says they're going to be a villain, because are they actually going to be a villain is the real question, because people think that they're a villain and then they probably aren't a villain, because everybody wants to be the villain, but like who has the capability to do that? So watching Lauren is really fascinating because she wants to be the villain. So yeah, that's just what I gotta say about that. Like, she's just fun. Like, her character to me is like one of those ones where you're like, I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing some fun things.
This comment in particular is killing me. When she studies her behavior as a Survivor super fan, red flags. Lee, okay, what is so wrong about Miss Lauren to you, Lee?
Well, that she's a super fan.
Oh, Vay. All right.
And like what Shane said, the fact that she says, I want to be a villain. I watched too many of these college Minecraft fan survivors and seen these type of players far too many times. They never do well. They either go super early, and that's if they're lucky, or they go super far in the game. They just irritate me to death.
Okay.
So, yeah. Lauren is probably, judging by this description, she's probably going to be that type of player. It's going to be all talk and probably no game.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have had some experiences where I watched a lot of Survivor and never played some games, and I was like, I know everything about Survivor, and then I went home very early. So I think that that's definitely a curse of being a Survivor fan. You think you know more than the people around you, when in reality, Survivor is like almost always your social relationships first. Let's see what Lauren.
If someone were to try to backstab me or blindside me, I will become a villain, and I will do everything in my power to get them out. If someone were to try to backstab me,
she's a villain just yet. Somebody has to blindside or backstab her first, and then from the ashes she will rise. So Lauren not yet a villain, but she's on her way. Up next we have Nadia. I have to say, I'm jealous of everybody's like coats.
The queen.
It looks so warm. Queen Nadia, a junior business and human computer interaction major. Again, like you can't convince me these are real majors, but then I believe them because they sound so smart. Steve Harvey complimented her golf swing. Oh my goodness, Miss Nadia. Shane, please, the queen. Why?
So this for me. This is one of the. I was not sold on Nadia at all at the beginning. Her interview, she was one of the first interviews we had, and I found her really dry. However, I could not have been more wrong. Govind had to do a lot of convincing, and she is like the main argument here was that she is one of the most competitive people that I've ever that he's ever seen, and yeah, I have to agree with that. Like Nadia is. Like just from her video, you can just tell. Like this is like day zero. She's talking about this this fake idol. Like she is potentially the most competitive person we've ever had on this show, and she is just so fun to watch. Like she did not come off dry in her confessionals at all. Whatever happened in that interview, maybe I was just tired. It wasn't just me who thought that, but then she came to play.
All right.
I have so much to say about Nadia. So as Nadia's one of my closest friends, and I recruited her so hard for the season of Survivor because she's the type of person that will like knock in both your kneecaps just to like win at like checkers is the way I describe it. She's like the most competitive person I've ever met in my life. And
oh my gosh.
It comes from a place of like, at the end of the day, she's an extremely warm person, very happy to have her as my friend. But to explain a little bit more, she used to compete on behalf of Team USA in badminton, then dropped that at the youth level because she realized that wouldn't get her recruited to college because there aren't that many college badminton teams, and taught herself how to play golf until she was then good enough to get recruited for golf and now captains the CMU golf team. So she's like so into different competitions. It's insane. And I knew the moment that she wanted to play this game, she would go like 100% all the time and do the best she can to see it through. And she picked up. She wasn't the biggest Survivor superfan coming into this, but she watched a few seasons like right before the game started, and I think she picked up on like how to talk to people much better than I was initially anticipating.
I just gotta say, like, her folder was packed before we even started. Like, I was like, this girl.
Yeah, so Shane, let me. So what Govind just said, that she competed for like Team USA at badminton, and then said, "Screw it, I'm gonna try golf." Got so good at golf, and you didn't cast her immediately.
Well, okay, so here's the thing.
So
like,
good.
the thing was, like, I don't know. It's like the interviews, they're a hard gauge, and at that point, we're only just going on so many like people's words. And the thing with this cast was that we had so many people like that. Like there were just so many people. Like, to me, Nadia was like the same archetype as like 5 other people on this cast. But at the end of the day, like, her competitiveness kind of drove her over the edge. Like, there were just so many people that we were like, okay, we've heard the same thing. Like, they're competitive. It was also like the last interview of the day. We'd already heard like 6 or 7 people. Like, we were just probably tired. It was winter break. Like, I don't know, maybe it was something in the air. But once we put her on the season, and like even pregame, I was like, oh yeah, this is why.
Amazing. We have some eye emojis.
That's probably
yeah. Now, guys, I want to drop some information. You might have seen it in this comment. I'm going to say it. Nadia's my winner pick. I'm super high on Nadia. I think that she's really funny. She reminds me a lot of Sarah in like the competitiveness. I mean, icon Sarah, who could not stop collecting idols last season. And so I kind of love that. I love a strong woman, and so I am all in on Nadia. I think that competitiveness in college Survivor, like, sometimes the team's intense, but often if you're the one putting in the hustle, you get the reward. So I'm picking Nadia. That's my pick. Lee, now that I've said that, how do you feel?
Hannah Dolan's got some competition here with those fake idols on day 0. Oh, I just can't wait to see her. She's hearing all that. Can we get the premiere out now?
I know. I honestly kind of fucked up that we have to wait this long.
Sorry.
It wasn't somehow it feels like less time than the finale, so it's all good. All right, let's check in with Nadia's video.
Potentially a fake hidden immunity idol. Potentially. I literally got these from Amazon. They were the first ones that popped up when I just typed in Survivor Idol. So I'm really hoping that no one else in this game kind of was thinking the same way that I did. Potentially a fake hidden.
It's a good pick too. You know, you can buy one off of Amazon, but it's got to look the part, and I feel like this one looks.
She did her research. She did her research on which ones people were thinking about. So I'll say that.
Oh, but girl, going for the very first one on Amazon, you have to scroll through like a little, so just in case people do go looking.
Exactly. Well, up next we have Nikhil, a sophomore business major who has the same birthday as his dad. I love these fun facts. I love a fun fact. Wow, I am excited for Nikhil. Shane, please let's hear what Nikhil is bringing to the table this season.
I have never met somebody who answered so quickly in an interview. Like, he was speaking at like a fucking mile a minute. It was like honestly a little concerning. Like just a little bit. I don't know. There was something where we were all like, oh, okay, like very direct, very forward. Yeah, probably the most direct interview we had. Like, I don't know. Govind knew him a lot more before the game, so I'll let him talk.
Yeah, Nikhil's another recruit of mine. I think that what I will say, previewing the season, is he's really bad at filming himself. So you will see, like, you'll be wondering, like, oh, I see Nikhil in all these group settings, but I'm never seeing him like talk to the camera. And that is something we try to work on the best we can. But as far as like him as a person, he was like preaching all sorts of stuff about like, I want to breed chaos, everything that you want to hear as somebody who's casting a season. And I think he's somebody who cares a lot about the game as far as like knowing what he needs to know. And it's just a question of like, is he able to connect with other people? Because I don't know how much years all play into things here, but he's one of the only sophomores on this cast. And that's a big difference in like people who might already know each other from like the junior level or the senior level, or people who are a lot older. Whereas like season 1, we made a concentrated effort on casting a lot of younger people because that was like part of the discussion we had with the university about these are people who might not know people yet. Whereas this season leans for sure a little bit older.
And on top of that too, like last season we scouted who knew each other and like made sure not to put a ton of people that knew each other on the cast. This time we were like, we don't really care. They know each other even better.
Mm-hmm. I think when you make a live game, like there is certainly a concerted effort to give everybody the equal opportunity. But in college, it's almost like, well, you have Facebook. Like, when you're playing a 2-day game in the woods, you can't look at somebody's Facebook page and see that they're Facebook friends with someone. Whereas, I think about like a lot of the most iconic like college Survivor scenes are like people like lying about their relationships with people and deleting Facebook photos. And so I love that drama. That's one of my favorite parts of these games. Lee,
there is a lot of that in this season. And it comes early.
I can't wait. Lee, what are you thinking, Nikhil?
Well, based on the 10-second video, which I can clearly get his entire personality from, he seems like kind of a flake.
A flake?
Yeah, not probably like people-wise, like, oh, I can't come to this thing. He just seems like, I don't know who to vote for. I'm going to vote for this person. No, wait, I'm voting for this one. Oh, screw it, I'll vote for this person. He just seems like he will never make... Yeah.
Okay. Let's tune in.
Oh, God. Okay. I have no idea what I'm going to do tomorrow. Fucking Tribal is fucking at 9 a.m. tomorrow, and I have no idea what I'm going to do. Oh, God.
No, not Tribal at 9 a.m. You guys are fucked up, man.
Hey, whoa. It is based on their availability.
I could not imagine going to Tribal at 9 in the morning. Like, starting off your day with Tribal Council sounds brutal. Oh my goodness. Okay, up next, we have Parker. For a second, my one screen was cutting off my other, and I thought his name was just Park, and I was like, okay, Park. A senior drama and philosophy major in the U.S. Army Reserve. Well, I hope he didn't get called up while the season was filming. I'm just kidding. No way he would. But we have Parker. Govind, can you tell me a little bit more about someone who is both dramatic and philosophical, I guess?
Yes, Parker is a living contradiction, and he is amazing, but like he preaches how he is like so strong in his faith and he will never say a lie. And then he goes and plays and almost exclusively says lies. But he'll never admit that to himself. So that makes part of like the experience of watching Parker so interesting. He's also a really, really good like confessionalist. So whenever there's something we need to set the scene for where it might be confusing, Parker is someone we might default to as far as being able to put things in really plain terms. And he comes from a background that is really different from a lot of other people at Carnegie Mellon. I think most people you see playing these games are like, they're doing something in tech. But Parker's like drama and philosophy, which is so different from the rest of people. And I really love hanging out with Parker. He's a big poker guy. He's a big guy into like, how can he like maximize risk without trying to go overboard? I think you see a lot of that this season.
Yeah, the biggest thing that I gained from just like watching Parker is that he tells everybody that he is never gonna lie. And then you'll see in the edit when I go, things Parker inadvertently lied about. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Sorry, Parker. You didn't mean to lie. You didn't. You really didn't, but you did. I mean, you really can't go through this game without telling like one lie. It's like almost impossible. Even if you don't mean to tell a lie, you're going to, whether you like it or not. But it is that like moral conscience that he has that makes him so interesting to watch. Of like, you can just see that it eats him up. It really does.
Wow. I mean, I feel like an advice for going on College Survivor is like, don't tell people that you never lie. Just like try to never lie. Because the minute you tell people that you don't lie and then you lie, doesn't go your way. Lee, I have a feeling about how you feel about Parker, but go ahead.
Oh, love him. Absolute favorite. No. I kind of he came off very intense in that little 20-second video. And I kind of put him down like he's going to have like the Captain America syndrome, isn't he?
Captain America syndrome is quite the phrase, huh?
Yeah, and just hearing more about this.
Do y'all remember like the part where Rupert goes like, "Who the hell voted for me?" back at camp? I think
yeah.
Parker's a lot like that, where he's like a boiling kettle until somebody sets him off, and then he's like, boom, which is a lot of where you see that intensity.
Oh God, I'm done. Goodbye.
That's my sole objective in Scotty Survivor now. I want to know who this is, and I want to take them out the game. I really, really don't like having my time wasted.
Ooh.
That's my sole objective.
Ooh, my time wasted. I mean, so there are a couple great Survivor podcasters, Dom and Colin, who are also poker guys, and I feel like that there's a lot of fun overlap between the idea of, we know lots of Survivor players play poker, and so I definitely think that sort of thinking is interesting, risk versus reward, and what are you putting in versus what you're getting out. But I also love Parker's got an accent, and so it's like it's intense, but it's kind of got that funny like Southern drawl to it. So like I'm maybe I'm not rooting for Parker right at the gate, but I think it's very funny. Like he's going to be quite the character. I can definitely tell, and I'm looking forward to it. All right, we have Ranjan. How someone correct me before I.
Ranjan.
There you go. A junior. Material science and engineering major. Thank God you put it in the captions, because no way would I get it off of these abbreviations in the Instagram posts themselves. A twin and a Gemini. I actually have friends like that. So double twins. Let me know more, please. Shane, what is up?
Lord. Oh, man. Y'all are in for something with Ranjan. Oh, my God. Yeah. One of the most, no offense, in the best way, extra people I've met at Carnegie Mellon. Like, that is not supposed to be a diss. They know that they are very, very like extroverted, out there. Like, they're a very fun personality to be around. Chaos. I can't stress that enough. Chaos.
Sounds good. And I just want to clarify that Ranjan uses they, them pronouns.
He, they. But
all right. Yeah. Sounds good. Well, we look, the Live Reality Games Network loves respecting people's pronouns. Govind, please tell me your insights on Ranjan.
Yeah, Ranjan lived next to me my freshman year in the dorms, and living next to him was like being on a reality show, and then seeing him on an actual reality show is even better. This is actually his second reality show. So he was on a dating show before this, where he was like on some college dating experience, and he was like, "Yo, I'm so about that. Let's try this game where I can also lie to people and not feel bad about it." So Ranjan's very, very out there. He's the type of person that if he's getting bored, he's going to make sure something is going to come from that entire experience. And he's the type of person I'd be extremely afraid to play against, but love as a viewer.
Amazing. Lee, what do you think?
He actually seems very fun. And I'm not saying that sarcastically for once. He seems like he's going to be the player that's like the very social player. Like, he's talking with everyone, maybe a bit too social to the point where people get like, he's talking with everyone. This is a worry. What's a mitochondria?
Oh, Lee, please never change. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, which is to say that, like, you know how like a cell has lots of little structures within it, like the nucleus and things like that?
Sure.
Okay. we'll send you a diagram that
I did chemistry, not biology. And even that, I'm confused.
We'll send you a little graphic when we're done. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. I mean, this is I feel like that became a meme in like American school. All right.
So let's calm down for a moment. I don't want everyone going on thinking I'm like this powerhouse or something. Like, I'm not a mitochondria. Like, let's calm down for a moment.
Oh, I'm so excited. I cannot wait. Like every video just proves more and more like that, like the anticipation for this season is like well worth it. Like it's gonna be so fun. Okay, up next we have Ricky, a senior biomedical and electrical and computer engineering major. Ricky, why do you hate yourself? Owns 35 Starbucks collector mugs. Wow,
Sure, he has to stay up to do all those sciencey stuff.
He needs to have 35 mugs of coffee all at once available to him. Govind, please tell me more about Ricky.
Yeah, so Ricky is one of those people that knows everyone on Carnegie Mellon's campus. He can walk
Even if you don't know Ricky, he knows you.
Exactly. So coming into this game, we were like really worried because we're like, we'll do our best to make sure that Ricky doesn't know everyone, but how much can we really do on our own? So Ricky does know a few people on this cast, part of Shane's fraternity, as was previously discussed. And he's a really, really nice person and really easy to get along with. But as you can tell from his like a million different majors, he is such a brainiac. And from that, he knows like how the numbers are working out, when he's going to be in a bad position, when he's in a good position, and for sure someone to look out for.
All right. Lee, or actually Shane, I should ask you, what are your thoughts on Ricky?
So Ricky, I know really, really, really well. And it was somebody that I just wanted to play so bad because he is like potentially the most social person I've ever met. Like I said, even if you don't know Ricky, Ricky knows you. Like it's just so true. Like I've had so many people, they're like, oh, like I get, like he's like, oh yeah, I know that person, and they're like, wait, who? Like he just knows of everybody, and even if they don't know him, they know of him. Like he's just one of those people that like just has a presence on campus by being in like 5 million different things on campus. Like has been in like a million different organizations. It's just like, yeah, like Govind said, really nice, really outgoing, really good friends with Corey. So that can tell you a little bit about his character. And just very observational, not afraid to call people out, brings the drama, like all around, like everything that you could look for in a Survivor player.
Okay. Lee, what do you think of Ricky, huh?
Another person that seems fine. He obviously does know everyone because his little video, he kind of shows like, I figure out that these two people do know each other and they're lying to this other person. So, but if you know everyone and work with everyone, I feel like that could be a problem where he's like, he's working with everyone, so he's pretty much working with no one.
Okay. I feel like there's something about the class. I don't want to call it the class clown because I don't think Ricky's the class clown, but like almost like the class president kind of style that like I think does have a lot of potential success in Survivor. So I'm excited.
And he found evidence, and then so did I, after that indeed they are very close friends and have hung out with each other. So, you know, the veil that they tried to put over Viv is fake. And he found evidence, and then so did I.
The veil is fake. Very cryptic. I'm excited.
One more thing to hop in with Ricky. He's also deceptively strong. Like he works on it, and he doesn't look like this. Like he doesn't look built, but he is like one of the most strong people I've ever met, which could help or could hurt in challenges.
Danielle says Govind care to come as the class president. No comment here. Well, up next we have Tina. Tina, a junior business major and statistics, loves trying exotic foods. Well, Tina, I am really excited for Tina. Shane, please tell me more about Tina, please.
Oh God, Tina. Tina. What a legend. I didn't know. I need to read Tina's application. I think it's incredibly relevant to this discussion of Tina.
Okay.
Because this was probably one of the weirdest applications I have ever seen in my entire life. I have never been more confused and also like just intrigued at the same time. Where is it? My gameplay style will be nothing anyone has ever seen before. Like a blind moose on black ice, I will be stumbling all over the place with moves that nobody even can predict, not even the most professional moose whisperers. I will act based on intuition. I will listen to the moon and the stars and seek guidance from my heart. Then we've got, I strongly believe that I should be cast because I bring a unique factor to the table. Not only will I provide that sense of bursting entertainment, but I will also deliver a refreshing perspective to the other competitors. You see, I am a hopeless romantic, and I tend to spend my free time watching everything from Nicholas Spark movies to Christmas Hallmark films. Now, I have not always been too keen to shows like Survivor because there isn't a juicy, calculated plot that draws me in, which is why I'm applying. I want to bring the juicy spice to the show, and if you're thinking that I'm going to fall in love with someone, you are incorrect. I, Tina Lou, are planning to fall in love with the show itself. It's like competitive reality TV meets her. I don't fall in love with a person, but rather an idea. This could be the next Jay-Z and Beyonce.
I can't fucking wait. I'm like beside myself. I literally cannot wait. Govind, is there anything to say beyond? Should we just move on? Like that was.
I think as you saw in one of the previews, the most interesting thing about this entire like experience in my mind is like Tina and Nadia are best friends, like, and they could not be more different people. Because Tina is just like the bumbling sort of person that is just like has no idea what she's doing like at all, but is like gonna make the funniest remarks you can possibly think of while she's going about this experience, which is so out of her depth. And Nadia is like, why is Tina here? People are now going to target me because Tina's here. I wanted to play this game where I'm like by myself and can do every sort of move I want. Now she's going to mess this up for me. So I think that dynamic is really, really cool. And Tina's like the funniest person I've ever met. She is so much fun to be around.
I cannot wait. I mean, if Tina ever wants to know some behind-the-scenes deets about Hallmark movies, she can hit me up because I did work on them a couple years ago. Lee, is Tina a fave already for you? I don't know.
Well, after hearing that application, yes. Winner pick, potentially.
Wow.
I'll say my winner picks in first boots once we go through everyone.
Okay.
What did I like how her video that we're going to see is probably the longest out of everyone, and it's just mostly her in shock, just like,
whoa.
It's just like a straight 20 seconds of her just being like going crazy. It's like, how could these people lie to me? And talking about hypocrites, well, that does not narrow it down with this cast.
All right, let's just watch.
I don't think I've ever met bigger hypocrites than you two. I really don't. I'm just so shook. Right now, I'm at a loss for words.
I mean, Tina's definitely like, if Tina doesn't do well, Tina's still gonna be an icon, like the College Survivor metaverse, like for sure. Like Tina has some star quality. That's so funny. Okay, up next we have. Okay, so her name is Valentina, but she's going by Valon.
Valon is a legend.
Valon is a legend, a senior civil and environmental engineering major, has 3 citizenships, but she'll never tell which countries. No, Shane, why is Valon a legend?
So Valon is one of those people. So I know her from like being like a tour guide with her, and that's like a fun little bonding thing. We like forced them to play like a little mini of Survivor. And Valon got out really early and then came back into the game and then won. She is just so like, talk about sweet. Like, I don't think there's one person who can say a single bad thing about her on this entire campus. She has probably like one of the most like well-rounded reputations I know. And she's just one of those people that's good at a lot of things as well. She's just so sweet, honest. She does know some people on this cast. Her and Joe are like best friends. And then she knows Ricky, and they all kind of know each other. So that's like a little trio thing going on there. But yeah, she knows like pretty much when I say nothing about Survivor, she really knows nothing about Survivor. And is maybe a little naive to that as well. I say that a lot, but a lot of people in this cast are naive. And then once they realize who they're playing with, they're like, oh, fuck. Yeah.
Amazing. Govind, what are your thoughts on Valon?
I think Valon is the sweetest person I've ever met in my life. And I think seeing that go like fourth in Survivor is so interesting because she realizes very quickly, like, this isn't a game where I can be just nice to people because I'm surrounded by people who are doing their best to like carve their name in like the villains of college Survivor history, which that like realization and then realizing like, oh my God, I'm so out of my element is super interesting to watch with Valon, and how she then like comes up from that afterwards is super cool. So I think Valon's super nice. I think Valon's so interesting to watch, and she's friends with Amada as well from season 1. So if you like Amada, hopefully Valon might have rubbed off a little bit, or Amada might have rubbed off a little bit on Valon as far as confessionals look like too.
Wow. Lee, thoughts on Valon?
Yeah, she definitely seems fun. I'm getting like hearing all that, I'm feeling like maybe she could play like a Mallory from Michigan type game where it's just like nice to everyone and everybody just goes to her for details. Hearing that she did not expect drama on day 3 is something, and looking at what tribe she's on and some of the people she's playing with, good luck, sweetie.
Oh boy. Well, let's tune in. Let's tune into what Valon's thinking.
Someone's targeting our team in a sense, are just trying to cause a rift on day 3. Let's just think about that for a second. Day 3, already stirring up drama? Like, who is this? Jesus. Someone's targeting our team.
I love the buffs, by the way. Like, you guys have some kick-ass buffs this year. I'm super excited to see it, and I love seeing players wear it.
If only we could get them at home. I wonder if there's a way to do that.
Now, Lee, I just can't believe you brought that up because there is a way that you can get that. Right now, we are having a buff giveaway on, if you go to our Instagram or our Twitter. Yes, we do now have Twitter. It's the very last post. Oh my God, there it is. Wow.
Wow.
And the only thing that you have to do, shout out Amy who made these buffs. They're incredible. All you have to do is like this post and then fill out the pregame poll in our bio, which Naomi still has to do.
I mean, I don't think you understand. I have so many buffs. I don't need any more. Like, respectfully, and it's not that I don't want one.
I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing. But yeah, so that's all you have to do, and you can win one of these buffs. We're giving out 3, so yeah.
I literally don't have enough room in my house for the buff of the show.
No,
I
I'm
work
just
on,
teasing.
let alone but I also want somebody else to have the buffs. Listen, I'm a charitable young woman. I want other people to get to experience.
I'll take one.
Scotty Survivor. What is the Scotty Survivor Twitter handle now?
Scotty_Survivor. It's run by one of our new production members. Her name is Danny. She's been commenting on all of this feed. So shout out Danny for running the Twitter because I don't know how to use Twitter. So
thank you to Danny for favoriting all my tweets. I appreciate it. Even the ones that are not about Survivor. It feels good. Thank you so much. Okay, up next we have Vivian. Vivian is a PhD student with a major in robotics, has a computer chip in her hand. I want to know more about that. But so she is friends with, if I'm not mistaken, with Abby, right? They're the 2 PhD students.
Yes, and they, from day 1, so they didn't know that each other. Well, Vivian kind of knew that Abby might be playing, but Abby had no idea that Vivian was playing, or maybe it's one of those. I forget which like way around it was, but it's gonna be very interesting because they want to keep it secret that they know each other. Like from the first day, they're like secret friends. Like we don't want anybody knowing this. Vivian, by far, was maybe the best interview I've ever watched. I think all of us who were on that call left going, holy fuck, what just happened? Like she's just one of the most interesting people that you've ever met. By like, I don't know, she like went to like she was working at well, she wasn't working. She went and like was at a Buddhist temple for like a really long time, and she shaved her head. And then like when we were on the call with her, she had like had a bandana over her eye because she'd gotten some like crazy bee sting, and she's just one of the most fascinating people I've ever met. On top of that, this girl came to play. Like you could tell just from her thing when she was in a car, like she was like, I was like, oh, I'm scared of her. Like I would not want to play against her. And she is so smart. She is so nice, deceptively nice. And just like, yeah, like I just love everything about Vivian. And as a college survivor player and character, I have never been more invested in putting somebody on a season.
I love that. I love that so much. Govind, what say you about Miss Vivian?
I want to be Vivian when I grow up. Like this girl is the most interesting person. Like those Heineken ads with like most interesting man in the world. Like they should do a spinoff for Vivian because she logs on to her interview. She's in a car where she looks like she's being transported against her will somewhere. Half her face is bandaged up. The other half, and she's like, oh yeah, no, I just got in like a fight with a bee. And I'm like, what? Like, okay. And then she begins to like talk at length because one of our interview questions is like, tell us a story. So most people like will like make up a story. She just talks from her own life because her own life is interesting enough. And she's like, yeah, I was in a Buddhist temple for like 3 months and I had to like not talk for like a full week. That's like the hardest thing I've ever done. And I'm just like, wow, this person is so disciplined, but also just so naturally interesting and charismatic that she would be the most scary person to play this game against. And the moment I left that call, she was first my like automatic 10 out of 10 needs to be on this cast. But then second, I'm like, this girl's going to win this game 100% because I'm like, this is my winner pick. There's no way that she's not going to know how to like interact with all these different kinds of people because she just seemed to get along with everyone on the call. And no offense to our prod team, but we're all very different people. If you can click with all of us so well, you're for sure going to do well in the game as well. So
she was all of our winner picks.
Yeah. Vivian is awesome. And yeah, part of the reason I was also like worried about casting Abby as well was because I was like, okay, we've already got Vivian. I want this to be the Vivian show. I'm worried about having this more people in the mix, but I'm so happy we took both of them as well.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Lee, is Vivian on your list of stands?
Yes, after hearing all that, even more now. I actually don't even want to continue. I just want to hear more stories about her.
I know. I want to know about the computer chip. I hope we get a resolution to that. Not Govind commenting cyborg season on this foot.
Did somebody mention Black Widow Brigade? That's I hope.
Man, I fucking love lying. It's such a thrill. I feel wicked. It's amazing. So I enjoy lying. Not in my real life, guys. You can be my friends in real life, but I'm talking about in this game that's designed for you to lie and cheat and steal. Like, it's so fun. You never get to do this in real life. This is why I'm playing Survivor. Man, I fucking love lying. It's such.
Anybody who starts their confessional off with "Man, I fucking love lying" is like A+ to me. I just hope the lying doesn't catch up with Vivian, but like she seems fucking hilarious. I cannot wait.
Now I'm assuming go
ahead.
I'm assuming unlike season 1 where we had the little video showing the cast like Zoe singing, that the rest of the cast did not see these.
No. So we went that was only because for the first season we had to have like a public thing for the school. Like once past season 1, they were like, do your own thing. We're like an established club now. So we went to like every possible means to make sure that these people had no idea who was playing. Like, we changed to a Discord server. We made everything private, so the only thing that they could see was like their confessional chat with us, and like they could only see that we were in it. Like, we were like secrecy, secrecy, secrecy. If you tell anybody, you're out. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, Discord's a very handy place to play Survivor. I would know.
Well, finally, our last cast member is Xavier, a first-year undecided major who lives on a farm. Is it giving Xander vibes? It could be. Maybe
It's just
the
because his
extra
name begins with
don't hype
X.
him
Yeah.
up that much.
I don't want to hype him up to a losing finalist. I'd rather see, I don't want to compare anyone to a losing finalist. Govind, what about Xavier do we need to know?
Yeah, X is someone who is for sure. I'd say Xander vibes is like a good way of looking at it. He's very chill, but it's like a more toned up version of chill when compared to someone like Henry, where he is so charismatic that everybody wants to be his friend. And you see that from even like his video where he's like, I have so many people who just like want to talk to me. Like, I have no idea what to do with myself. And I think this like farm boy might be a little bit out of sorts when he's here now in the, I don't know if I'd call it the big city Pittsburgh, but it's a lot all at
Big
once.
city of Pittsburgh.
And he for sure begins to learn a lot more about the game as he goes about playing it. Whereas in the beginning, I think he's like still trying to figure things out and just is really, really good at making friends.
Yeah, just adding on to that, like Govind said, X is super charismatic. Like, just talking to the guy, you're like, oh wow, like he's like charming me, and he's not even trying to. Like, that's just the way he talks. But yeah, just we had like a big debate about not him in particular, but like we had these 3 freshmen that were like really like they all knew each other, and we were like, God, like we want to put them all on the cast, and we were like, okay, but like we have to pick. We can't put all of them on the cast. But they were all like so individually. We ended up only going with 2, but Ayal and Xavier. But Xavier was so like captivating as like a person too. Like, I don't know, just like the juxtaposition of like being this like athlete who lives on a farm who like wants to study psychology is like really interesting to me. And like he knew a lot about the game. Like Govind said, it's definitely a learning curve for him, but he definitely had watched some. Also friends with Eric and Ayal, so that's another interesting dynamic as well at play. Yeah, just really great kid.
Amazing. I'm excited. And like, look, Xavier, like, I feel like you always got to have the sort of one like young guy, kind of like Eric, and we know Ayal's going to fill it a little bit, but like you kind of, I don't want to say himbo. I don't think that's fair. But you need like the one sort of like, oh, they're a freshman. They seem nice. Let's just have.
Don't call him a himbo. He doesn't need his ego to be inflated. He will take that as a compliment.
I've got all sorts of alliances going on. I'm juggling all this shit. I've got all sorts of alliances.
Why does he sound like Christopher Walken in that confessional? Like, there's something about it. Oh my gosh. Well, that recaps the 18 players of Scotty Survivor Lost in Time. I mean, I'm so excited. I can't wait to do our weekly analysis. Lee and I will be back. Shane, Govind, you guys are welcome to join any week you can. But I guess in general, Shane or Govind, like, what did you want to improve upon from the last season that you think has made it into this one? Besides less Zooms.
There were a lot of things. I think we were really. I think season 1 was a successful like trial run. Like when Govind and I started this, we had no idea what we were doing. And we still didn't really know what we were doing, but like there are times where we're like missing some things and we're like, oh, we're missing that angle. But I think just the quality of it improves. No offense to season 1 or anything. It's just we have better materials, we have better like cameras, just like the whole situation I think is a little bit clearer. We had more time to edit. Like it wasn't as much rushing. I just think that the gameplay is also like we wanted a cast that was going to be so crazy that we could put together a season where it would be like, I have no idea what happened. And that's exactly what happened. Like I genuinely to this day don't understand some of the things that these people did. I think we just were looking for another great season that would keep people very involved. And I have to say that this season in particular, we have the most people that stuck around and kind of helped with production and just even potentially played again. So yeah, this season I think is one for the books. I am bold in saying that this is a top 5 season, but I think it is.
Okay. I mean, Govind, do you agree with Shane's claim?
I don't agree with Shane's claim. I think that this is, in my mind, and I'm of course biased, the best season I've seen of College Survivor. And in my mind, one of the best seasons I've seen of Survivor in general. Like the storyline is insane. I remember calling Shane and like on production calls in general, being like, these aren't even twists we put into the game. These are basically like cast-led twists where they're making the game more confusing than it needs to be. And this is wild. I had so much fun working on production for this season. I'm like so thankful that all these people applied, because I think from season 1, enough people saw that this was something that was interesting. And then we had a lot of people apply for season 2, which I'm again really humbled by. And from that, we were able to choose such a good cast because we had such a diverse group of people to pick. And these people are all really nice people at the end of the day, but they're all crazy game players. So this is a really fun season. I hope all of y'all enjoy it as much as we did on like filming it.
Yeah.
And they're just wonderful people that hopefully we'll be able to get them on like interviews and stuff too, because they'll love talking about their games. They have huge egos. So
from an editing perspective too, like pretty much everything is relevant. Like I don't think there's anything in like, and like obviously we're still working on it, but like even from what Govind has seen and from what I have worked on, like there's not a single moment, in my opinion, that doesn't have some sort of relevance. And I think that tells you how much the game kind of moves. Like you're like, wow, this seems like a lot for the first week. And that's because it is. They came to play, and I was being modest when I said top 5. I agree with Govind. I just didn't want to say that out loud. I think it is potentially the best season of College Survivor ever.
Wow.
And I'm not saying that because I produced it. I'm saying that's because these players and the way that this season went, I have never seen anything like this in College Survivor or in Survivor ever. And that has to do with it just being on a college campus. But man,
season
wow,
1's
these people.
mad at us because we talk a lot about how much we love season 2, and then season 1's like, what about us? Which kind of sucks. But like they're cool too.
Listen, season 1 is always going to be season 1, and it's
always going to be season 1.
Yeah,
it's always going to have the legend of it being the first season.
Yeah, Chris Thomas is quaking. Wow, I can't wait. But also, I have to say, Govind and Shane, you guys do such a good job, especially last year, trying to host in the pandemic and trying to make tribal councils interesting while you're on Zoom. I thought you guys both did an excellent job being hosts and are definitely some of the most animated, invested, and like exciting people to host. So great job, and I'm so glad that you have this continued success. Season 3 is happening, or is it done?
Oh, it's long done. We're filming 4 right now.
Woo! Season 4. Amazing. Well, I'm so happy for you guys. Lee, who is your winner pick and your loser pick?
Now, since I'm very indecisive and this could count as cheating, I'm picking a winner pick and a first boot pick from each tribe. Because it's like, if this tribe loses first, I think this one...
No. We don't have time for this.
No. Let's hear the one, and then I want to hear both for all 3.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to pick an overall winner pick. I'm going to pick an overall winner pick, and then 2 like runner-up winner picks from other tribes.
Okay, fair enough.
But for the first boot, I'm picking one from each tribe. Because it'd be like, if this tribe loses, you're going home. If this tribe loses, this person's going home. So from the overall winner pick, I don't want to be obvious and say Vivian. But I think I'm going to be obvious and say Vivian's my winner pick.
The queen. We love Vivian.
But she's like my overall winner pick. My winner pick from the pink tribe is... Oh, Jesus Christ. This is the pink tribe. There are not many options. I'm going to say Valon is probably my winner pick from that tribe because she's like the only one that has that will not be a first boot. And then the green tribe, I'm gonna say Rajan is going to be my winner pick from that tribe. But Vivian overall, and then those two. And then first boot, I'm gonna say Ethan's gonna be the first boot from the green tribe. Don't know why. Blue tribe. This one's a little more difficult because everybody here actually is kind of decent.
Kind of
I'm just gonna
decent,
say-
guys. Kind of decent. Put that on
Kind
your
of
resume.
decent. I'll say Nikhil will probably be the first boot from that tribe, and then the pink tribe. Oh god, talk about options galore here. I'm gonna
Hurt
say
yourself.
Lauren will probably be the first boot from the pink tribe.
Lauren.
Watch them
Oh
be
my
the
God.
final three.
Well, yeah, I'll watch it. Oh my gosh. Well, you've heard it here first. Lee's winner pick and 3 early boots. Well, guys, I am so excited. Govind, when does episode 1 come out?
That's a Shane question.
Shane!
Wait, Naomi, before we gotta get your winner and loser pick.
Oh, well, my winner pick is Nadia. I said it. I said it once. I'll say it again. I'll say it a million times. My first boot pick, that is trickier. I do think it could be Lauren. I fear for the Survivor fans. You know, they're always. It can always be. And I gotta go to my phone because I closed the tab on my phone. Oh God. I don't really want anybody to go home. That's the other thing. I've become like the mom where I'm like, I don't want anyone to lose. I think it could be Ethan, which makes me really sad. I don't want it to be Ethan, but I think it could. Or Nikhil's also a good choice. I guess I have to go with Ethan, but I believe in Ethan, you know? Like
Okay, so steal my answers then.
Sorry.
Well,
Oh,
I almost said season 1. Season 2 premieres April 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's locked, ready to go. Episode 1 is literally I am just waiting to click upload. At this point, I have worked so much on this season, and I'm still working, but it is in a much better place than I was with season 1, and I have much more time. So,
yay!
No pauses this time. No pauses. I promise.
We're not gonna get a 10-month break for the finale.
Hey, it was 6.
okay. Guys, thank you so much. You should make sure to subscribe to Scotty Survivor on YouTube. You should make sure to follow them on Instagram and Twitter. Enter the buff poll giveaway, which the buffs look great. They look super great. And most importantly, guys, tune in and comment alongside us. Thank you everybody who commented, all the players. We will try to be nicer to you later on, maybe.
We got one more thing too. We're doing another podcast with some special guests on April 3rd at 8 p.m. So me, Govind, we got Luke from Survivor Syracuse, we got Enan from Survivor Michigan, we've got Aaron and Cooper. So that's gonna be another one of these cast prediction pre-game, see what people think. So that's gonna be very exciting, and you all should definitely tune into that.
Cannot wait to hear it. Guys, thank you so much for being here. We will be back weekly with Scotty Survivor coverage, Lee and myself, and then you guys are welcome to join every week. Thank you to all the players who commented, and thank you to everybody for tuning in. Guys, let's get out of here and go get some lunch or something. How about that?